How's it going, guys? Giovanni here, and I'm here today to talk about the UFC Middleweight Division. So, I'm looking at the UFC rankings website right now. Um, in particular, the Middleweight Division. Obviously, we have Israel Adesanya as the middleweight champion. Um, After recently knocking out the former middleweight champion, now fighting at the light heavyweight, Alex Pereira. Um, yeah, and UFC 290, man. It was Robert Whitaker and Dricus Du Plessis. Um, I'm a big Robert Whitaker fan, and in fact, um, uh, there are two fighters that I typically uh, bring that I usually draw to the people who are who want to get into MMA, who want to watch UFC. There are two fighters that like I usually recommend to them. One of them happens to be Robert Whitaker. Robert Whitaker, Bobby Knuckles is one of them, and the other one is Max Holloway. So I love Robert Whitaker as a human being, and damn sure like him as a fighter. And unfortunately, you know, he had a off night, bad night. You could even say, based on how based on the fact that he got finished by Dricus. Shout out to Dricus. Great guy. He's really proven himself. He has all my respect at this point. I was one of those people that was writing him off. I was like, he has he's has a slim chance, but it ain't really looking good for Dricus. Because Robert Whitaker, he's a hard fight in general, like period for anybody. Whether you're a number one contender or you're number 15 contender, Robert is just a hard fight, and Dricus got it done. So, massive respect for Dricus from me. I'm now interested in the Du Plessis Adesanya fight, which I would not have been if Dricus was tossed to Israel after beating Derek Brunson. I would have had a similar reaction, to that I had when Jared Cannonier and Israel Adesanya got booked last year. I'm not interested. I'm not, like I know he's gonna win. Like that type of reaction. Like I'm just not excited. I'm not pumped up for it. Uh, but but now it's changed. Now it's now okay. Now I'm interested. I still think Adesanya's gonna be the favorite, but I'm interested in it. So we'll see what happens. Robert Whitaker, he's now down to number 3 in the rankings, with Dricus being number 1, and Alex Pereira number 2, which he's really not in the middleweight division anymore, but whatever, because he's fighting Jan Blachowicz. So yeah, I'm very excited for that fight too. The Pereira Blachowicz fight, um, which is happening in this month actually. 291 UFC 291. It's happening on that card. I'm not sure. I'm not positive on that. Don't. I'll have to look at it, but oh man, that's a. I think Blachowicz is gonna win, but again, and MMA, man, like for MMA, as many of you guys know or should know, you know, uh, predicting a fight on paper sounds, it's good and everything, but we won't ever know until we see it. So yeah, so Jared Cannonier, he's number 4 right now after a monstrous victory over Marvin Vettori, who's number 5. He's so they're both still in the top 5. And as far as I'm hearing, Hamza Chimaev is next, could be fighting Jared Cannonier, which would be Yeah, like I like it, but like, ugh, yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think of that, but I mean, I would have loved to have seen Hamza Chimaev fight Kobe Covington. That was my dream fight at 170, but obviously, you know, it's looking like Hamza, doesn't want to cut to 170 anymore. It's looking like, I don't know, but yeah, um, that would have been a fun one for me. Like that would have gotten me off my seat if that fight was actually official, but which obviously it's not. Um, but Cannonier Chimaev is that's a good one. It's a good one. Yeah, it's not a bad one. But Sean Strickland number 6. Um, which is he's more of a top 5 guy than a top 10 guy. So obviously there's people talking about well, Dricus is fighting Adesanya now, so Strickland might, I don't know, he could be a backup fighter at best, but now you have Jared Cannonier in for that slot after what he did to Marvin Vettori. Um, so Jared Cannonier could very well be the backup for maybe, but I have a hunch if Cannonier doesn't end up being the backup for Duplessis Adesanya, I have a hunch that he is going to fight Hamza Chimaev. That's actually going to happen. I haven't heard any official news or any of that, but we'll see. We'll see if Strickland or Cannonier ends up being the backup fighter. Paulo Costa, number 7, he's fighting what's that guy's name? Aliskarov. The dude who called out Bo Nickel. He's fighting that guy. We'll see what happens. Interesting, but we'll see. Derek Brunson, number 8. You know, uh, you know, uh, good fighter. Just has he's fatiguing. I mean, his losses have been with Derek Brunson. Like, if you look at his fight against Dricus Duplessis, and then before that with Jared Cannonier, you would say he would win the first round because he's gotten finished in the second round. Derek Brunson gets finished in the second round, and it's because his cardio, the pace that he sets goes down drastically. Like, you can, like, the guy looks tired. Like, he looks tired. Like, you can see it. So if he can, like, if I don't know, like, if he could change that, he's solid. Derek Brunson's solid. He's not bad. He's still in the top 10. I don't know if he's fighting someone. Uh, if I had to guess who he could possibly fight now, Roman Dolidze or Jack Hermanson, because Jack Hermanson and Derek Brunson, those two were supposed to fight, but Derek Brunson got hurt, and Chris Curtis steps in to fight Jack Hermanson, and Chris Curtis ended up losing, but which was a weird fight because Jack Hermanson was not engaging with Chris Curtis, and that whole thing happened, and Chris Curtis got pissed and stuck the middle fingers at him. But yeah, then you got so Roman Dolidze and Jack Hermanson, those two are on the edge of the top 10. Then you have Brandon Allen at number 11. Kevin Gastelum, who's down to welterweight. Nazardini Mavov at 13. Andre Muniz, 14. I don't know much about him. Chris Curtis, 15. That's your top 15. I think the mysterious fighter here is probably Brendan Allen. Like, I just don't know, like, how good he can actually be. I mean, like, he talks like he's, you know, he's putting himself out there like he's good, like he's really good. He can beat Israel Adesanya, which I don't know about that, man. He's the man's never lost except to Alex Paleta and Jan Blachowicz at 205, which, you know, Izzy didn't even make 205. Like, the guy made like 200.5 pounds. So, yeah, it's an interesting division. You know, it is moving now, with Dricus being number 1 now. So my thoughts on the Duplessis Adesanya fight. Obviously, Adesanya has a different style than Robert Whittaker has, but I think if you're Dricus Duplessis, the training camp should be similar to Rob Whittaker. The training camp that, you know, that Dricus had for Rob Whittaker, but lighter, because, you know, Dricus said that he had a grueling long camp for Rob Whittaker. So, you know, I think his camp for Adesanya won't be. I don't know how grueling it's gonna be. I know it's gonna be different as far as like as far as preparing for him differently, because you know, Adesanya and Whittaker are 2 different fighters, 2 different great fighters. So it'll be interesting. As far as who would win, my mind tells me Adesanya, but my heart tells me Dricus Duplessis. Dricus Duplessis, but who knows? Who knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, that's really about it, man. I don't want to ramble too much, but yeah, those are my thoughts on the middleweight division of the UFC. You guys can let me know in the comments what you guys feel about the state of the division. Any fighters that you agree with me on or disagree with me on. You know, you're free to let me know in the comments. You know, and you may or may not get a response from me. Whatever. But yeah, let me know. See, you know, let me know in the comments, or don't. You know, it's up to you. But yeah, that is it, man. I might talk about the welterweight division on a separate video. We'll see, and we'll go from there, guys. So yeah, that's gonna do it, man. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.